So today I am going to do the my first time video for you guys. I watched a whole bunch of other ones of these and it was actually kind of interesting. It's kind of like a get to know you type of thing, and I think it'd be a good idea because a lot of you have been asking me like more personal questions, and this is actually just kind of fun. So let's get right into it. I'm going to be reading off from my laptop screen, so I'm going to be looking that way quite a bit. The first question is, do you still talk to your first love? I do not. He was the first person that I ever held hands with, ever kissed, and ever groped, I guess you could say. But he broke up with me because the year 2000 was coming, and he asked me, "You don't want to die a virgin, do you?" And I'm like, oh my god, I was like 13 years old, so yeah, I wanted to die a virgin apparently, because he said the world was going to end in the year 2000. He was trying to convince me to have sex with him, and I stood my ground and I stood strong, and I did not have sex with him. I have nothing against him though. We were young. It was in the past. I have talked to him like a few times here and there, but it was just like, oh hey, how's it going, you know? But again, that was when I was 12. That was so long ago. Like, we started dating when I was 12 and we broke up when we were 13. I was 13. He was older. I've always dated older guys. Always. Every time. But yeah, I talk to his sister all the time, and I love her still, and like, whatever. I'm pretty sure that my ex, my very first boyfriend, regrets ever breaking up with me, because he has told me a couple times, well, he didn't tell me, but he just hinted towards it, and how pretty that he thought that I was, and this and that, but whatever. I'm glad that we broke up and that my life happened the way that it did, so I don't regret him dumping me because I wouldn't have sex with him. The next question is, what was your first alcoholic drink? You know, I was pretty young for this, but I didn't get drunk. Like, my great aunt and uncle, they used to like feed me and my brother beer all the time. I want to say that a Budweiser was probably my first alcoholic drink ever. Legally, my first alcoholic drink, I couldn't tell you because I don't remember. But I have a bad memory. But I know that, like, because my dad, when I was a kid, my dad was an alcoholic, and he would give me and my brother sips of beer. It doesn't make him a bad parent. He did it under the supervision of him and my mom, and it was always like just one little sip just to like taste it. I didn't used to like beer, but the older I get, the more that I like beer, and I'm actually becoming like a total beer girl. Like, I really like beer now, and it's becoming my drink of choice other than water. And of course, like, I love like sex on the beach or anything fruity like that too. So it's not like, I don't know, I do like all kinds of drinks, I'm not gonna lie. What was your first job? My first job, I was a painter. Basically, I was 13 and I was walking around to people's houses and asking them if they needed their fences painted. And then I actually did it for a business. Me and my brother did it for a business together. And, no, I mean, like, we found a business that needed their fence painted, and they paid us to do it. And it was so nice. And I actually, like, that was like an under the table kind of thing. So my very first job was actually working at the Craft Castle in Twin Lake, where my mom is currently the manager. It's like a craft store, but it's like, it looks like a castle, and it's really cool. That was literally my first job. I was an inventory specialist there because I was really quick with computers and numbers, and everything was manual, and I think everything still is manual, so it takes a really long time to like check out and, you know, do whatever. I don't know. What was your first car? I drove a 1988 Ford Mercury Topaz. It was white with like a little blue pinstripe all the way down the sides. I loved that car. I didn't want to get rid of it. It was like, well, it being my first car, it was a little, just a little bit attached to it, and I definitely didn't want to get rid of it, but I sold it for like $100 to somebody, and that was when I lived in Germany because I didn't need it over there while I was there. and it wasn't getting used, so I gave it to somebody for good use for $100. Who was the first person to text you today? Chris, my internet husband, or e-hubby. Chris and I have been married since I was like 12. We found like a little online marriage certificate forever ago. We met online, never met in person, but we talk like every single day since I was 12. Literally every day we talk, on the phone, in text. He'll send me videos of him, I'll send him videos of me, and stop thinking perverted, you perverts. It's happy videos, friendly videos. Okay, this isn't coming out right. But anyway, Chris is like one of my best buddies. I tell him everything that goes on in my life. He tells me everything that goes on in his life, the good, the bad. He's been there for me every step of the way, and I love him. Like, he's just like a great person all around. He came here, well, no, I went to Chicago, I think it was 3 years ago, and I randomly just texted him asking him where he was at, because he's a truck driver, and he happened to actually be like 20 minutes away from where we were at, and I met up with him, and we are just friends. That is all we have ever been. We have never ever done anything other than hug each other, so you guys just stop it. But we did meet up, and I was so ecstatic. He's just as great as a person in person as he is over the phone and online. And he has a girlfriend, and he has a little boy right now, and they do have another child on the way. And I love Chris dearly, and I wouldn't want to have it any other way. But he's my buddy, and he always will be. And my real husband actually got to meet him too, and they got along really well. And I was really bored because they started talking about cars and stuff, so I was like, oh. But no, my husband knows about him. He's completely aware of him, and that me and Chris are friends, and we talk all the time. And when Chris talks to me, he's like, hey, tell your man I said hi. And I'm like, all right, tell your girl I said hi. So, I mean, it's nothing secretive, and like, we literally are like the best of friends. Who is the first person you thought of this morning? That's a good question, because I think I thought of myself, because I was so excited when I woke up that I was going to go get my motorcycle permit, and that's all I could think about was myself. I was just like, yes, this is awesome. I'm thinking about myself. That's a shitty answer for that question. I'm not self-centered. I swear. No, I'm really not self-centered. Who was your first grade teacher? First grade, let's see, Mrs. Sundberg. She actually lived over by my parents' house when I was a kid. She was a really nice lady. She still is. I think she's still alive. I'm pretty sure she's still alive. But yeah, I really liked her as a teacher too. Where did you go on your first ride on an airplane? That's kind of a trick question for me. I've been on like the little mini airplanes where they only seat like 2 to 4 people. That was probably my first plane ride ever, and it was just sightseeing over the tops of our houses and stuff. And I was probably like maybe 13. My uncle's like a pilot, and he owns a couple of planes, so I rode on those when I was that age. But my first like commercial airline flight, that was to Germany. The first plane that I ever boarded that was a commercial flight was when I moved to Germany, and that was the scariest thing of my life. I literally like hugged the window, and my dog is scratching at the rug to find a comfy spot. She's so retarded. I was hugging the window, and I had my cheek pressed up on it, and just thinking about it right now, like, it makes me want to cry, because I was so fucking sad. Like, I was leaving my family, I was leaving everything that I loved, just to go be with a guy that I had just recently married. It was really, really bad, but I'm happy to be back with my family. I do miss living in Germany, as that became my second home, and I had so many friends over there that I love dearly, and just thinking about that makes me want to cry too. So we're going to move on to the next question. This is horrible. Who was your first best friend, and do you still talk? My first best friend's name was Holly. Her and I literally lived like right next to each other when we were kids. She was born like a month before me. Was it a month before me? Yeah, she was born a month before me. We were literally the bestest of best friends. I mean, you didn't see us go anywhere without each other. And that was all the way up until we were about 16 years old, I want to say. And when we were 16, I got my license first, and we were always hanging out and going to the beach and stuff. And then she started meeting like random dudes online, and she started blowing me off for them, and it hurt really bad. And I just didn't understand. Like, I thought that she just didn't want to hang out with me anymore. So I told her basically that she has my number and she knows how to get a hold of me if she wants. I'm that kind of straightforward person. I mean, if you don't want to hang out with me, please tell me. Don't lie to me or don't blow me off because you want to go hang out with some random dude. But I mean, it was like it was really weird. It wasn't just like random dudes. It was like random really old dudes. Like, she was meeting guys that were older than her father. And I do like older men, and it's to a certain extent, but she was like really degrading herself, and I was trying to keep her from doing that, and it just didn't work. And she just continued to do, you know, everything that she was doing, and we just drifted apart after that. She's on my Facebook. We do still like talk once every great while, but it's usually only when we run into each other in like a store in our town. But we don't talk like we're really friends anymore. We're really not friends anymore. It's not there. It'll never be there again. And I did go to like her first baby shower, but that was because I got an invite, and like I didn't want to be shitty and just like not show up, you know. But it is what it is. I have other friends and I do other things, and like the things she likes are completely different than the things that I like now, so we're totally two different people than what we were before when we were like really good friends. Where was your first sleepover? You know, I think my first sleepover was at, she's not really like my blood relation and not like really my cousin, but her name was Whitney. And actually, I guess she technically was my cousin because her aunt married my uncle. They're divorced now, so I guess they're no longer related. But I stayed over at Whitney's house, and like her parents were going through a crazy divorce, and like he pulled out a gun, and I was all familiar with guns because my parents lived next to the psycho lady that pulled a gun on us all the time. But I called my parents. Like, I locked myself in the bathroom. I called my parents and I asked them to come get me because I was fucking terrified. So I went home. I couldn't make it all night. And I know a lot of children's first sleepovers are kind of scary because they're away from their mom and dad, and you know, they feel a little uncomfortable. But yeah, my first sleepover didn't go very well. My next sleepover went awesome though, so it was all good. But it wasn't with Whitney, it was with somebody else. Who was the first person you talked to today? Does that consider text messaging, or does that consider like talking on the phone? Because text messaging, I already said, was Chris. But if you're talking about like person, like in person, I guess the first person that I talked to was the lady at the Secretary of State to get my motorcycle permit today. Yay! I'm so excited. Whose wedding were you in the first time? That would be the aunt that I was just talking about that married my uncle. And it was, I think I was 10. I think I was 10 years old. and I was the miniature bridesmaid, and it was a Harley Davidson wedding, but it was a Harley Davidson red, white, and blue wedding, and it was so awesome. The bridesmaids wore like tight mini dresses. They were all like strippers though. Like, it was a stripper Harley Davidson red, white, and blue wedding. So it was pretty freaking awesome. It was very memorable, and my aunt and uncle drove away on their Harley, so it was really, really cool. Unfortunately, they're divorced, and I love them both dearly, so I guess, you know, whatever, it didn't work out. But they were together for a really long time. She cheated on him, and like, he just could not forgive her, so they moved on, and they both remarried. They're happy with their lives. At least I think they're happy with their lives. They act like it. What was the first thing you did this morning? Rolled out of bed? Is that what I did? Went pee? Yeah, that's about it. It's pretty self-explanatory. What was the first concert you ever went to? NSYNC! I went to an NSYNC concert when I was 12. God, I like did everything when I was 12. What the hell? I was like branching out in life when I was 12 years old or something. I loved NSYNC. I was obsessed with NSYNC. And me and one of my really good friends from the dance class that I was in, we went together at the Deltaplex, and it was so awesome. And when they came out, we were screaming like little 12-year-old girls do, and it was just so much fun. And we ended up, like, 6 months later, they were somehow, like, back in town again. And we ended up going to that concert as well. So we went to 2 NSYNC concerts. The second one was, of course, way better than the first one. But I was, like, 12 for both concerts. So I still love NSYNC. My love for NSYNC will never die. Even though NSYNC is not together anymore, and it's so sad, but that's okay, because I probably I do have every single CD that they came out with, of course, duh, but I will love them forever, and I will always know their songs and the words to their songs. First broken bone, 3 years ago at work. I smashed this little thumbnail in between two patio blocks. They weigh 92 pounds a piece, and like a whole stack of the back row, there was like 15 of them in the back, and then there was one in the front. And there was a new girl that worked there, and I was trying to protect her because they were going to all fall on her shin, and I was like, oh my god. And with them being 92 pounds a piece, they are heavy as hell, and I tried to catch them to avoid it hitting her shin. I saved her life. It did not hit her shin. It didn't even go near her, because I caught all those bitches. And at the same time, I stopped breathing because it hurt so bad. My thumb was stuck in between all of them, and all I did was break the very, very tip of my thumb, and then I had to walk around like this for like a month. It was so not cool, and you guys have no idea how dependent you are on your freaking thumb. This, like, I need to screw up these fingers, because at least I can still use my thumb. If you have these 2 fingers, you are good to go. But if you screw up your thumb, you are so screwed. It was so annoying. I literally couldn't do anything. Like, how do you, like, try to, like, do stuff like, here you go, glass. Here, let me pick you up, glass, with my thumb sticking up straight in the air. Yeah, fucking sucked. I hated it. It pissed me off so bad. People made fun of me because it looked like I was giving everybody thumbs up all the time. But, yeah. My first piercing, my ears were my first piercing, but other than my ears, my nose was my first piercing. I got my nose pierced when I was 17 when I moved to Germany. No, it didn't hurt. Some people cried when I saw them come out after getting their nose pierced. They cried, but everybody has a different tolerance for pain. I am absolutely terrified of needles, although I have 7 tattoos and 8 piercings. Terrified of needles, but the nose didn't hurt at all, so I was good to go. First foreign country you've gone to? Germany. Became my second home. Other than Germany, I think, where did we go? I went to Spain. After Germany, I went to Spain for a vacation. But yeah, Germany was the first country. First movie you remember seeing. We're just gonna like play Family Feud and say pass, because that's just way too long ago. I'm sure, I guess I could say The Little Mermaid. Like, I was so flippin' excited about The Little Mermaid, and The Little Mermaid is my best friend, and I love her, and yeah, we braid each other's hair. I'm just kidding. I love The Little Mermaid, though. When was your first detention? Oh my god. Okay, first detention was in 7th grade. I was always a good kid. Like, I never did anything wrong, and I had straight A's all through school from like beginning to end. So whatever. Okay, this teacher, my dad worked with his wife, and my dad was like, you need to walk up to him and be like, hey, what's up, John? So I'm Daddy's little princess, and I listened to him, and I was like, what's up, John? And he goes, excuse me? And I'm like, I said, what's up, John? And he's like, say that one more time. And I was like, say what? And he's like, say my name again. So I was like, John? And he goes, you have detention after school. So I got pissed, and I was like, wait a minute, what the hell? No way, no freaking way. I'm getting a detention because I called you by your name? And he's like, yeah, that's disrespectful, and you need to respect people. And I was like, you call me by my first fucking name every goddamn day. Like, what the hell? That gave me 2 hours of detention instead of 1 hour. And then I kept going. That gave me 3 hours of detention. I was pissed. So I went home that day because my parents have to sign the paper, and my dad was laughing. Like, he was just like, what a douche. I can't believe that guy. But I went back to school the next day. I had to serve my detention right after school the next day after I handed in the paper that my parents had to sign. My mom was pissed as hell, of course, but my dad just thought it was freaking hilarious. My dad thought it was hilarious that I got in trouble because of him, apparently, but the teacher didn't even stay after school with me. Like, I had to sit there with like 2 other teachers, and it was fun. Like, I got to sit there and like chat with them and talk girly talk and whatever. And like an hour and a half into my detention, she was like, you can go home. And I'm like, well, fuck, I'm in 7th grade. I can't just walk home. So I had to call my parents. I was like, can you guys come get me? Like, that was just ridiculous. I don't know. Stupid teacher. Mr. Russell was his name, if anybody wants to go kick his ass for me. He's probably not even alive anymore. I don't know. Who was your first roommate? My very first roommate her name was Amanda. She and I were best friends from about 16 to, let's see, we were legal to drink. 16 to 21, her and I were like, yeah, just like this. And our dream was always to live together. And when she became single and I became single, we both got an apartment together. The first couple of months were pretty awesome. They were fun. I mean, we were like freaking out drinking all the time and having parties at our apartment and just enjoying life as, you know, a 21-year-old. She was the same age as me. Shit started rolling downhill where she just like wasn't holding up her end. I was paying for all of the rent because she couldn't afford it, and it was starting to like really break me. And then like she wasn't doing her share of the chores. Like, we set up like a lot of like ground rules and stuff, so we were just trying to like, you know, make it even so that we both didn't have like to do everything or whatever. But she disappeared on me, and I had no idea where she went, and I wasn't really mad that she disappeared. I just wanted to know that she was okay, because even though, you know, somebody can do me wrong, I don't actually wish upon them for something bad to happen. but I couldn't find her. I didn't know what was going on. I couldn't afford all of the rent and all of the bills by myself. So I started looking for a house, and that's when I got my house when I was 22. Because she disappeared in December, and my birthday's in January. So in December, I was looking at houses. In January, I put in an offer, and then I turned 22, and that's when I got my house. But she just, like, I don't know. I found out that she was living in North Carolina, and she had gotten married to her ex-boyfriend who almost killed her once before, and they had a kid together. So I don't know. Her and I don't talk anymore. I went to small claims court to file for $3,000 that she owed me for back paid rent and breaking the lease. Because she wouldn't answer any of my texts or my phone calls. Finally, when I told her that she was going to be subpoenaed to appear in court with me, she texted me and she's like, "I'm your best friend, you can't do that to me." And I'm like, best friends don't fucking disappear on best friends. Like, you don't just disappear. You work things out, and if they don't work out, you part quietly. Like, you don't just fuck somebody over and leave them. So she wanted me to drop the subpoena for the court, and I dropped it. And then I actually went and paid my half of the lease break. I told her that she didn't have to back pay for rent, that I would take care of all that if she would pay for her portion of the lease break, because that was like another $1,200. So she ended up coming back up here and paid for her lease break, and I paid for mine, and then we parted ways. And we haven't talked since then, and it's been like 5 years almost. So I really don't have any best friends anymore, because I'm so sick of people doing me wrong, and it's like happened over and over, and I seem to be happier in my own little world where I don't have to deal with anybody's problems anymore. I know that sounds selfish again. Oh, okay. If you had one wish, what would it be? That is such a hard question, because your wishes can change from like second to second. But I guess like I would say I wish like for all of my family and friends to have like the best health and, you know, just be around. Like, family is really important, so I don't know what I would do without mine. But I don't know. I really don't know what my one wish would be. My one wish would be to have infinite wishes. That's exactly what it would be. So that way I could just keep wishing for good things. Yeah. What is something you would learn if you had the chance? I'm gonna learn how to ride a motorcycle today, guys. Got my permit today. So I do have the chance. I'm gonna learn it. But I'd like to learn like a whole bunch of other languages. Like, I love to know what people say, especially when I go get my nails done, and those sweet little Vietnamese people always like talk their language. Like, I want to know if they're talking shit about me or somebody else, or, you know, just in general. Oh my god, I'm so not comfortable right now. My leg fell asleep. Last question. What were the first lessons you ever took? Tap dancing. I started tap dancing when I was 5 years old, and I quit tap dancing when I was 16 because I got a driver's license and a boyfriend. And I was like, woo, I'm an adult now. I can go do shit by myself. But I danced for 11 years. That's actually where my husband now, I actually met him in this dance group because he actually danced for 16 years. It's tap dancing, line dance, jazz, swing, round, square. Like, it's every type of dancing mixed into one. And like we would go to like so many different like conventions in states and overseas to do dance and stuff. There were other dancers there that would be at the conventions. It was so much fun. I had such a good time. I miss it. Like, I hate becoming an adult because like once you turn 18, you have to graduate from it like you do high school. So unfortunately, that dance group does not exist anymore because it kind of went downhill, and the dancers weren't as good. and the original owners, one passed away, and then the other one is pretty much bedridden due to health reasons. So it was really fun, and I'm actually really glad that I got to have that opportunity. Yay! That was the last question. I'm so excited because this is like the longest video I'm ever going to post. It's probably going to take like 3 hours or like a whole day for it to upload, depending on if I can get somewhere with a Wi-Fi connection or not right now. Anyway, I hope you guys liked my video of my first. And you know what? There's no question in here like, how old were you the first time you had sex? Or how old were you when you did this? So yeah, those are questions you guys will never know, I guess. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you in my next video. Bye.